On May 13th, 1917, near the pastures of Fatima, Portugal, three children tending sheep suddenly witnessed a shining lady appear before them with a flash of lightning. "Do not be afraid. I have come from heaven. For the next 6 months, on the 13th day of each month at this same hour, come back here to see me. If you do this, I will tell you who I am and what I want." The lady was surrounded by a light so bright, the children could barely look at her directly. They could only make out her thin, delicate hands. The children later recalled that this mysterious woman who came to them was none other than the Virgin Mary. They promised to keep this encounter a secret between the three of them. But word that the children had seen the Virgin Mary soon spread throughout the entire village. This fascinating story even made it into the local newspapers. Soon, thousands of pilgrims began flocking to what was once a quiet, unremarkable village. The local authorities refused to believe the children's story, suspecting that these events might be a political plot against the First Portuguese Republic established in 1910. Officials tried to detain the children to calm the situation down, but the authorities failed to hold them as the growing wave of pilgrims fiercely pushed back. A month later, on June 13th, the children once again encountered the mysterious lady. This time, she gave a special mission to Lucia, one of the three children. "You must spread the word of my presence and work to establish the Immaculate Heart throughout the world." Over the following months, reports of visions and miracles continued, drawing even larger crowds to Fatima. At their fifth meeting on September 13th, the lady foretold another miracle to Lucia. "In October, I will perform a miracle so that everyone may believe." On October 13th, the sky was covered with dark clouds, and heavy rain poured down. Despite the terrible weather, an estimated crowd of up to 100,000 gathered in the field at Cova area, waiting for the mysterious lady. The ground turned into deep mud as rainwater pooled around their ankles. But drenched crowds stood firm, waiting for the promised miracle. Around 1 p.m., the rain suddenly stopped, the dark clouds parted, and the sun appeared. In that moment, the sunlight grew fierce and began drying up all traces of rain in an instant. Soaked clothes dried rapidly, and the muddy ground hardened enough to stand on. When the crowd looked up, the sun began to spin rapidly in the sky. Witnesses testified that it wasn't just a ball of fire, but looked like a giant mirror, reflecting the landscape, people and clouds in dazzling colors. The spinning orbs zigzagged through the sky above the massive crowd. This strange movement of the sun continued for about 10 minutes. Tens of thousands could only stare in awe, unable to look away. This event is now known as the Miracle of the Sun, the most widely witnessed miracle in recorded history. Two of the three children who experienced these encounters died during the Spanish flu pandemic in 1918, while Lucia lived on as a nun and was later beatified after her death. What's intriguing is that despite its recognition by the Vatican as an official religious event, some researchers claim this was actually direct contact with extraterrestrials. They argue that the lady who appeared before the children was not the Virgin Mary, but an extraterrestrial being. And the miracle of the sun was actually a sighting of an otherworldly craft. These researchers pointed to details. The lady was surrounded by a bright light, had long, thin fingers, and was described as wearing something like a spacesuit. They suggested the children might have seen an alien, but interpreted it through their familiar image of the Virgin Mary. Even the way the lady communicated resembled telepathic contact, a common feature in UFO encounters. The children said they never saw her lips move. Instead, they felt a humming sensation in their heads while hearing her voice. The lady never directly mentioned the word heaven either. She simply pointed her finger towards the sky to show where she came from. Some say her religious messages and prophecies use the power of faith, delivered through innocent children who could accept and share it purely, to deliver a revelation to the world. The strange phenomenon witnessed by so many during the miracle of the sun supports this theory. The spinning, disc-like shape, the beams of intense heat, and the impossible flight maneuvers all match the typical features of modern UFO sightings. People saw the object change colors instantly. Red, yellow, purple, and move at incredible speed. When it descended closer to the ground, many felt the heat radiating from it. The shining sun swirled through broken clouds, spinning like a stained glass window inside a cathedral. Seconds felt like hours. The experience was so vivid. When people cried out and looked up, they saw the sun spinning wildly in the sky. It came down as if it would crush us with its massive weight. For me, it was an utterly terrifying moment, though I can't speak for the others. The clouds parted and the sun appeared in all its brilliance. It spun grandly and flew about, radiating rainbow-colored flashes. This majestic sight continued for 10 minutes straight. We fell to our knees, overwhelmed by what seemed like proof of God. I can't explain what I saw that day. Even staring straight at the sun didn't hurt my eyes. It spun on its own, then zigzagged downward. I was so terrified I ran for cover, hiding among people weeping that the end of the world had come. I happened to step out onto my balcony that day and saw it all from afar. I had never seen anything so astonishing in the sky. Completely captivated, I watched the sun until the show was over. Many witness accounts share the same details. Flashing lights, spinning, and strange movements. But skeptics point out that none of these stories ever left behind concrete proof. Throughout history, when events suggest that extraterrestrials may be deeply involved with humanity, decisive evidence always seems to be missing. Paranormal researchers claim this is intentional, saying that when they choose to reveal themselves to the masses, our minds cannot process it normally. They believe this is a deliberate effect caused by higher beings. So was this strange event in a rural village in Portugal truly a miracle from God? Or was it a message from visitors beyond our world, trying to tell us something important? This was Midnight Journey.